All right, on this episode of the LPDS, we're getting into the best TV show moms, the best mothers out there from your favorite TV shows to follow on from our story about the best TV show dads. Now we're going to get into the best TV show moms and why. We're going to find out from the fans who they like and why. I'll give my little how you doings on who I liked and why, and it'll be a good time. We're also got several current events to get through. And a very fun Cage fact. All that coming now. All right, Jabronis, we're back. Welcome back to the Libretti Podcast Diary Show. I'm your host, Libretti. I almost lost my train of thought there within seconds of the show, and my brain is firing on a half a cylinder. I'm your host, Libretti. Hope everybody had a good week. This is the show that talks about nothing but finds the lessons in everything. You're going to see that here, hopefully this week again. When we talk about TV show mothers and why they were so great and influential, we'll get into that in the Junction. But first, we're going to get into some current events and some other stuff. It was a busy week. A lot of stuff went down. I got a new ring light. I don't know if you can tell in YouTube land, but every time I look up, the ring light reflects in my stupid glasses and it looks stupid. And I don't know what I'm going to do about it. But the lighting in this LPDS studio right now has been garbage at best, so I'm trying to find ways to improve it. Maybe I got to find a better spot to put the ring light so that it shines the light appropriately without blinding me and getting in my shades. Not my shades, my glasses, my blue lights. Another thing too, I've been screwing around with the audio on and off for weeks now. I think the audio mixer I have is faulty or something, because when I use it on my main program I record on, it's got some feedback every time I talk, and I got it on one episode several weeks ago, and it bothered me to no end, and I've been trying to fix it ever since. So I have to keep stepping to alternate forms of recording, and I think I just have to get a new audio mixer, a new audio interface, and see if that works. So if you hear garbage audio that I can't hear currently right now, that's why. Couple that with the fact that I can't edit things very well. I can only do so much because I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars for the good editing software, because I'm cheap, and I'm also half poor, half cheap, half poor, half frugal. That's three halves. All right. Current events. Let's see what we got here. Got a lot of stuff, and it's tough to weed through the stuff worth talking about and the stuff that's just a waste of everybody's time. So I do my best, and of course I get help from people like the Bradley Blotter is always sending in his news article blotter updates, so that's helpful. But it's just sometimes you see a hot news story, but it's also like people are so tired of hearing about it, I don't want to bring it up anymore. So that's the mental gymnastics I got to do in my head, that little dogfight I have in my head mentally. So first one we're going to get into, this was sent to me by the Wet Cat's wife, Mrs. Wet Cat, so I appreciate this. I was following this a little bit, but that fat, lying, scoundrel weasel, no offense though, what's his name? Is it Brian? Matt? I don't know his name. The kid who did Firefest. I think he's from Jersey too. Makes it even worse. Maybe it's Billy Fatso. He just announced that there's going to be a Firefest 2, and it's going to be super legit and super real this time. Now, this has to be like a marketing ploy by him or just some publicity stunt to get clout or whatever. But to be completely honest, if anybody even thinks about going, or is considering going just to be like, oh, just to see if it's any, if you spend any money or really much more time than this right now, like thinking about toying with the idea of Firefest 2 happening and to give this guy any sort of more clout or money or fame or any sense of importance whatsoever, you're a moron. I'm a moron too for even talking about it now. This is one of the things I struggled with bringing up, but I felt the need to be done. I'd rather spread this message about the dangers of Firefest 2 than to not talk about it at all. So we're going to discuss it here one time. It's not a good idea. Don't go to it. Don't spend money on it. If you want to see from the background, from behind the rafters, how it turns out and the disaster it's going to be and the scam it's going to be again, you can, more than welcome to sit in the cheap seats with me and watch that happen. But if you're going to spend money, it's a moronic move. You may not be a moron, but the move you're making is moronic. Okay? This guy went to jail for Firefest 1 because he lied and scammed people into thinking this is something real, and they all spent thousands of dollars on this, lost their luggage, lost their money, this and that. It was an absolute nightmare disaster because he conned people and committed crimes. And then he went to jail for it. And the first thing he does out of jail is declare that there's going to be a second Firefest. Second jail time. That's what he's declaring. Second conviction. Don't buy into it. Do yourselves a favor. Be smarter than that. I knew people that went to the first Firefest, that signed up for it or whatever. Don't do it again. Okay? The fact that this guy still allowed a platform to do that is mind-boggling to me. Not allowed a platform, but the fact that people listen, I guess it's idiots like me who are listening to him and actually seeing, giving him the views and the clicks because I see these videos too. But long story short, Firefest 2 will be garbage. Even if it's real. Here's the thing. Even if it's legitimate, above board, real, why would you spend money? That guy has 100% success rate at conning people and being a criminal. 100% success rate. He is a criminal and a con man. So why would you even spend the money to take the chance that it might be legit this time? In fact, look, if he does Firefest 2 and it's another scam, I will join his side then. I will join forces with him. Because at that point, he's throwing the light. He's just telling you, I'm going to scam you, and you're letting it happen. You're not falling for it. He's telling you, I'm scamming. You can't fall for something he tells you about. I'm scamming you. Okay, here's my money. Scam me. That's what's going to happen. If he pulls off another scam Firefest, I'm joining the side of Billy Fatso from Jersey. So that's that on Firefest. No more talking about it until the con goes down, until the Emperor's New Clothes goes down. All right, the second thing here. This is an important one for me for a couple reasons. I'm sure you're tracking this. The Massachusetts Air National Guardsman, the kid, the airman or whatever, got arrested for all the Pentagon files leaks that have been seen recently. Now, if you saw in the news, you saw that they had armored vehicles show up to this kid's house, and they gave him the perp walk, whatever they call, where they bust in the door, guns a-blazing, take him in, embarrass him on national television, what have you, as you would do with criminals. Okay? I want to give a quick LPDS caveat here. What the guy did was a crime. Okay? If you're not following this story, this kid, I'm going to give you the short version first. This kid, I guess you could say, hacked into classified Pentagon files and stole them, and now they were leaked. Okay? And these files divulge in great detail information about the truth behind the Ukraine war and how it's a disaster for Ukraine, and how the U.S. is now has been supporting with troops on the ground out there, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't know what's true or false. I'm out. I don't go in and do checking on that stuff anymore, so I don't know what's going on, but you can go look up the Pentagon files on the Ukraine war. It's a disaster that the administration has been covering up for over a year now and spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on it to fund this farce. So that's what was leaked. Now, this is why this is important to me. They're making this kid, and like I said, I caveated before, he's a criminal. He broke the law. He stole information he did not have a need to know and access to. He has a clearance, but he did not have a need to know. Therefore, he doesn't get access to certain information, just like that's how it works. So he stole the information and then it got leaked. Okay? That's what he did. Like Snowden did. He committed a crime by stealing information that he did not have access to and then leaked it to the press. Where things get dicey. Where things got dicey with Snowden is that the information he leaked was showing how the Obama administration and the U.S. has been using the Patriot Act to spy on Americans for no reason whatsoever at will. And they got busted for that. What I don't agree with is the way they went about doing it. There's a process in place to actually be a whistleblower and get protected and do it above board, quote unquote. And he didn't do that. Snowden. He just sent it to the press. He said he was scared or whatever. You can make that argument that he was scared for his life if he went through the process, whatever. Same with this kid. He took the information illegally. He committed the crime. That was the crime. Okay. But it's like, do you commit the crime to be the Robin Hood or whatever to show the lies going on in our own country? Regardless, I'm kind of digressing here. What you've been seeing from the media on this is that this guy's a monster. He's a terrorist. He's a treasonist. He stole this information and leaked it. Who knows what other enemies he gave it to for money? And they're trying to paint this guy out to be this terrible Benedict Arnold against America, and that he was working with enemy nations on this. When in reality, here's the real story. You're not going to hear it in very many places, but here's the reality of it. It's embarrassing and silly, but it's a little funny. The real story is that this kid, who's a gamer or whatever, on his little Discord server that he has his gaming chats with, apparently he got into an argument with a guy he games with a while ago about something regarding the Ukraine war. And they were arguing their positions and getting mad at each other as people do, and they tough talk each other on the internet through their Discord chat. And he decided, he's like, well, I'm going to prove you right. I'm going to go get those files to show you the truth behind it so that you know that I can win, so I win the argument. So he hacked into the mainframe, got the files he needed to show the evidence, and showed this other dude, like, see, told you, and so he could win an argument. From there, the files got leaked because it's a bunch of gamer nerds on a Discord server now are privy to super secret information about our country. So, of course, like schoolgirl beta bitch boys that we all are, we're going to go and talk about it and tee-hee-hee about it at the Waller Cooler. And that's what happened. The files got leaked, and it went everywhere, and now people are up in arms about it, saying this guy was working with China, working with Russia, whatever. He's not. He's just a dopey kid who has cyber capabilities and hacked some files so he can win an argument. Now, they're going to paint him out to be this animal because it makes the government look bad. It reveals, like they did back with Snowden, that they're doing things illegally, that they're lying to the American people. And they're going to turn him into this absolute monster. Meanwhile, there are people out there that have done this stuff on purpose. Same stuff, taken classified information, tried to hide it even, and they're still walking around free. In fact, they ran for president. if you don't remember the whole Hillary Clinton situation. And I know you probably think, oh, here comes tinfoil hat Libretti again, and I'm beating this dead horse. Hillary Clinton she first requested to have her own private classified server, email server at her house, back when she was Secretary of State or whatever the hell she was for the Obama administration. And they said no. Okay? That's documented. The documented official request and the official rebuttal, no, you're not allowed to have this. So she went and made her own anyway, in secret. Okay, not to win an argument with her nerdy friends. She made it in secret, and she had classified information on that email server. And then when she was confronted about it, she destroyed hardware equipment, phones, laptops, whatever, to hide evidence of her going around the legal system to get this classified server. Okay? And she got punished by being allowed to run for president and then go kill Epstein and all the other people that her and rapist Bill Clinton have been doing. Now, this kid did something way less egregious, and he's going to be painted as a terrorist and a Benedict Arnold against America. That's why it's important to me. That's why I bring it up. He committed a crime. He needs to be punished for that crime. The punishment has to fit the crime. Okay? But I'm bringing it up for that reason, because he's going to be a terrorist, and he's probably going to get life in prison, or they're going to give him the death penalty or something ridiculous, because they're making the administration look bad. They're embarrassing them and showing the fact that they're inept and they're criminal and corrupt. Meanwhile, these people are walking free. Speaking of which, while we're talking about leaking classified information and nobody doing anything about it, Vice President Mike Pence, still no investigation, or at least that they haven't said. Maybe they actually investigated his house and gave him the slap on the wrist you get for the accidental leak. For accidental classified spillage of information, you get a written counseling, a slap on the wrist, essentially, for what you've done, for essentially being stupid. And that's what he should have got. If he didn't get that, that's what Trump should have got. Instead, they full raided his entire mansion to try to get him on that. And that's what President Biden should have got. And now, again, you won't see this very many places. He got busted leaking classified information again this past week. Apparently, a whole bunch of documents while they were on a motorcade in Ireland, doing God knows what in Ireland, exporting potatoes or something. Papers, classified documents just fell out of their car, out of the motorcade vehicles, and were rolling down the street like tumbleweeds in Ireland. Classified information. That's the second time this year alone that old bastard's got busted being careless with national secrets. And nothing will happen to him. This humphead kid, this soapy drinking, nacho eating, basement dwelling geek is going to get painted as a Benedict Arnold and be crucified for it. And then we have an old ice cream eating, Jello eating, diaper shitting, old bag of bones running our country getting nothing for it. And then they're lying about it and covering up. Yeah, he's of sound mind and judgment. Sound mind and judgment. He's 1,000 years old. He doesn't even know he exists anymore. And he's good to go. So that's why it's important to me, because of the hypocrisy behind it all, and because when it happens to you, when it happens to the people in power, they get mad and they throw the book at people. But when it's their own people doing it, they don't give a crap. And it's the same on both sides. I'm sure George Bush did it. Trump probably did it. They try to crucify the other side to make them look bad and worse, and then they try to protect their side and downplay what they've done. That's how it is in politics, but we here at the LPDS won't stand for it. We're calling everybody out. If you break the law, you need to be punished according to the crime. Punishment has to fit the crime. You should at the very least be punished. You shouldn't be paraded around, lauded as a hero when you're leaking classified information and shit in your pants. Ridiculous. Anyway, now I'm heated, and we're supposed to have a good discussion here in the Junction. But anyway, we'll just move on, okay? The next thing, the final thing I want to talk about, and it's a controversial thing going on in the news media these days. It's the whole Bud Light trans person scandal. I don't know what you want to call it. Scandal, controversy, whatever. If you're not following this, most people are, but some people don't. They pay attention to more important things in life. Bud Light, their VP, their Harvard grad VP that they have to brag about, she's a Harvard grad, blah, blah, blah. She wanted to get more inclusivity with the brand and be less fratty and rednecky or whatever she called it, trashy. And they decided to do like some sort of campaign with this transsexual person. What the heck is his name? Clayton Beverly? I don't know the dude's name, the girl's name. She's a trans person. She is a D-list celebrity at best. She's famous for being a trans person, an identified woman on TikTok. I think that's all they do. They're not an actor. They're not a police officer. They're not like an athlete or anything like that. They're just a human being that got famous on TikTok for growing their hair out and changing. And I don't know if they're taking hormones or they're transforming or whatever it is they're doing. They identify as female now. Cool. Awesome. I'm glad for them. Bud Light decided to celebrate this person. I don't know what they did. They made a commemorative can with this person's likeness on the can, their face on the can. What the heck is that person's name? My brain is losing it here. I don't know why. It's weekend brain. Damn it. Can't figure it out. Anyway, their can on, and this person, she posted it on her, I think on her TikTok or social media or whatever. And the Bud Light drinking world went nuts about it. What is that person's name? I can't stop thinking about their name. Grady Sizemore? No, that's a baseball player. Damn it. Taylor Devereaux. Dylan Mulvaney. I Googled it. I admit I looked it up on the internet. I use DuckDuckGo, actually, not Google. So shout out to DuckDuckGo. Dylan Mulvaney. That's the person on TikTok. So they sent the pack of Bud Lights with her face on it. And she posted a picture of it. And then the Bud Light drinking community, the rednecks, the MAGAs, the Quanons, they all went nuts. Kid Rock bought a pack of Bud Lights and shot him up with his gun on his compound. And people went nuts about it. There's several things that are funny here. And then there's a couple of things of note about this. When we're talking about critically analyzing a situation and trying to take in all the information before making a decision, this is what we're talking about here. We're going to do this sort of practice right now because I think that's important to do, is do the exercises and always critically analyze every situation before coming up with an opinion or shooting a 24-pack of Bud Lights. Now, the VP of Bud Light came out before they sent this can thing over saying they want more inclusivity and they want to be less fratty or whatever. Got it. I understand that you want to increase your demographic, but you don't increase your demographic by shunning your main demographic. And that's by the words that she said. It's fratty and trashy, she said, and we want to increase our brand to more than that. You don't increase your popularity by completely shunning an entire demographic of people. And that's what they were sort of doing. They weren't shunning the trans community, but they weren't including them, I guess you can say, because their commercials and their ads and their marketing was not I'm sure it just didn't appeal to the trans people. I'm sure it didn't. So she's trying to do that. Got it. She gets a lot of backlash because I guess she had pictures on her Facebook from years ago of her being trashy and fratty into some sorority at Harvard, which is full of like bums and stuff and drunks. And she was partaking in all of that and being a bum and fratty and whatever. And she's better than that because she's got the Harvard degree, I guess. That's what the argument against her was. So I wanted to bring note to that. I don't know. It's not really that important. Again, it's tough for me to care about this because it's so unimportant. I don't drink Bud Light anyway. I don't like it. I know Bone Crusher is a big Bud Light guy, but it's not great to me. If I'm gonna have shitty beer, it's gonna be Coors Latte. And I think I talked about this previously. I'm a Coors Light guy because my grandfather had Coors Light a lot in his house. And it brings back memories, and every time I taste it, that I get brought back to that time when JPL2 was around. So that's why I prefer it more. I know it's not good. I get it, but Bud Light's not good either. All right? So it's tough for me to talk about this whole topic because I care so little about it. What's funny about it, though, is that you have these hardcore people that are shooting up the Bud Lights and this and that, and talking all this trash about it, and we're going to boycott and blah, blah, blah. And it's not changing the shitty taste of Bud Light. Number one, okay? The Bud Light has had different pictures on cans, different designs. They had the rainbow. They had this and that. For years and years and years, they had different stupid designs on there with idiots on there or not idiots, whatever. And it didn't change the taste of Bud Light. It didn't change anything for them at all. So the fact that you're trying to boycott and you're getting all up in arms about this doesn't make any sense in that regard. Number two, they didn't release those cans. There was like a special can they sent to Dylan Mulvaney only. Nobody's getting those cans, okay? They're not for sale, okay? Then another thing that's silly is you have other people thinking that they're smart or they're outsmarting and clever when they're like, here, I've been boycotting Bud Light my whole entire life. I just don't drink it. And they show the refrigerator of different types of beer. And all those beers are made by Anheuser-Busch. They're different names, but they're all made by Anheuser-Busch. So they're not boycotting anything. Their money is still going to Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light, which is fun. Again, that's silly and funny to me. So instead of getting up in arms about this, take the step back and think about what the heck is actually going on here. Okay, now Bud Light lost $5 billion in the recent weeks since coming out with that whole debacle. Bud Light should be pissed at Dylan Mulvaney for posting out on his TikTok and creating this uproar of chaos for no reason. Because they knew the cans weren't going out there. They were just giving it to him and be like, hey, here's a cool thing. So they should be yelling at that kid for letting the cat out of the bag, for lack of a better term. And causing all these rednecks and Quaanos to get pissed at Bud Light. Bud Light doesn't taste good. Okay? And it tastes just as bad as Busch Light. Coors Light's slightly better because I like it and I'm biased. Milwaukee's Best, Miller Lite, Mick Ultra. They're all the same, guys. They're just shit beer. And I like it. I like shit beer. I'll drink all of those. Pabst Blue Ribbon, give it all to me. I'm down for it. But don't make this out to be more than what it is. Okay? Businesses are going to do whatever they can and think is going to make them money. Now, I know you boycotting them is like, see, you're not making money now because you shunned that whole demographic of people. It's not going to matter. It's a small dip. Bud Light's still in the red, or the black. Is the black positive? Yeah, still in the black for the year. Even though they lost $5 billion in the last couple weeks, they're still doing fine. They own like 13% of the market when it comes to shitty light beer, so they're doing just fine. In the long run, it's not going to affect their bottom line much. But businesses care about profits and bottom lines. They always have, they always will. Okay? So no matter what they do, it's not because they care about a certain demographic more than others. It's not because they care about people. It's because they think it's going to make them money. Okay? And what's been super trendy lately probably the past 5 to 10 years, has been rainbow flags, rainbow cans, trans community, LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G+. That's what's trending right now for the companies to make a quick buck on people. Because everyone's going to buy their flags. They're going to be, oh, I'm inclusive. I'm an ally of this movement. I'm an ally. An ally of what? American? Yeah, we're Americans. You know, like, I hate when they say I'm an ally. I'm a gay ally. Okay, thanks. You're a sucker because you're buying this stuff thinking like they care about that community when they care about green. That's the only color they care about on any flag or any movement or any letter. G, green, for money. G for green, green for money, if we're taking that analytical leap there, folks. So stop getting up in arms about it. You can get pissed all you want. But they'll update their marketing later on in the year to something else to make them money. That's all they care about is making money. Okay? So whether it's a Ukraine flag on their can or a rainbow flag or a guy with a wig or a full transsexual person or just a wiener hanging out there for wiener rights, they care about making money and they're going to do whatever they can that they think is going to make them profits. Okay? And this is what they think is making them profits these days. It's this community, this movement. Okay? All your favorite brands that you're loyal to on the Quanon side, they're going to do it eventually. The only people that won't do it, and I think they should, is the gun community. Smith & Wesson should come out with a sweet red, white, not red, white, and blue, a rainbow camoed weapon to sell at the gun stores. You want to stop the purchasing of guns. You want to keep guns out of criminals' hands. Do that. You have all these political fights about gun rights and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Put a rainbow flag on a gun, and the Quanons will stop buying guns, okay? But they're the only community who won't do it. So everybody else is going to do it, guys. So get used to it. Get used to all your favorite brands of mac and cheese and ketchup and whatever else you guys eat, tartar sauce, Duke's mayonnaise. They're all going to get there, okay? They're all going to have the flag on there. They're all going to have some sort of thing that you don't agree with culturally and societally speaking because they're trying to make money. And they might have a short-term dip because you boycott it for an hour, but then you're going to realize, I don't like the other brands of mayo. I don't like Miracle Whip. I don't like Hellman's. I'm a Duke's guy. So Duke can have a guy jacking off 18 other guys on there, and I'm still going to buy Duke's because that's what I like. And that's what I'm going to do. I like Duke's mayonnaise. Love it. I like Coors Light. It sucks. Love it. Okay? I don't care what you put on your cans and your mayonnaise containers. I'm still going to have it. Doesn't matter to me. That shouldn't matter to you. Okay? They're marketing to a different demographic. They already got you. They got you buying Bud Light. Keep buying it. It tastes the same. Still garbage. Still cheap. Okay? They're trying to get other people to buy it as well. It's for business, folks. Get your heads out of your asses and realize that. That's current events. That's that. We're done. Okay? No more current events for the day. We got a fun conversation to talk about in the Junction. I don't know how long I've been talking already because on this alternative recording situation, I don't know that I don't have a timer on here on my computer. So could be 5 minutes. It could be 45 minutes. We're just having fun here, folks. Speaking of having fun, let's get right into it finally. Let's step into the cage.
Okay, let's run.
All right. Today's Into the Cage segment is proudly sponsored by Just for Guys Soul Patch Hair Dye. Are you stagnating in the same facial hair look you've had since high school and trying to come up with a new signature look that's totally out of bounds? Then pick up a bottle of Just for Guys Soul Patch Hair Dye today. Just for Guys is an all-new hair dye that'll upgrade your look from moron to mayor in a matter of minutes so you can take all the babes to Flavor Town in no time. Simply brush in the chemical bleach into your soul patch, and within minutes, you'll elevate you to new levels of cool. So to get your bottle of Just for Guys today, visit www.grindersglidensanguys.com. And if you use the promo code Donkey Sauce, you'll get 29% off your first bottle. Flavor Town. That's where you want to take the babes. Flavor Town. Okay? And if your soul patch is looking ratty and nasty, you'll be taking yourself to Flavor Town and self-treating Nikki Sticks style. All right. Cage fact. I saw the movie Renfield. I went with The Creature. It was phenomenal. It was not quite Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent good. That's still, I'm telling you, it's not official yet, but it might be my favorite Nic Cage movie, Unbearable Weight. It's not official. I'm still running the numbers on that, but it's up there. So it wasn't quite like that as far as a life-changing Nic Cage movie. However, it was very fun, action-packed, funny, a lot of gore. I love a good gratuitous fake gore. It was not like sickening gore. Sickening gore. It was funny, goofy comedy gore. And Nic Cage absolutely dominated as the Dracula character. He was meant to play that character. It's right up his alley. Not that there's no role like that's not up his alley. Every role is up his alley. I was having this conversation with Creature last night, and he brought up a great point. If this is Nic Cage's alley right here, everything is up it. Everything is up his alley, but he absolutely crushed this one. Everything about it. I really, truly hope that they actually make a movie dedicated to that particular Dracula character, whether it's a prequel or a side story or whatever it is. We need more face time, more Nic Cage as Dracula, that kind of Dracula. Vampire's Kiss Dracula was completely different, very funny, but completely different. This is Dracula. Tremendous job by Nic Cage. Also, John Ralphio from Parks and Rec is in it. He does really good. Awkwafina, she's also in it. She was in Jumanji, and she has her own show on Comedy Central, I think. She's very talented, and she was in it. So go check it out. Now, the Cage fact. We discussed how he had his teeth filed down so that he can fit the Dracula teeth molds into his mouth and like make it look more natural. Well, he also wore his teeth outside of set at home all around the place so that he can get used to talking with them in his mouth. So he didn't have a lisp. It wasn't unnatural. He wasn't drooling everywhere. You know, when you get a new mouth guard or a retainer and it's tough to talk the first couple of days and you got to get used to it and have it in there all the time. So your mouth muscles and your tonguetry all get used to it. Well, that's what he was doing. And he would wear the teeth. He would bring them home with him and wear them out in New Orleans when they were filming in New Orleans, out and about. That would have been amazing to see. If I saw that in person, that would have been tremendous. But I missed it. But I still saw the movie. Still great. I may go see it again. Really fun movie. I recommend it. It's a silly, no nonsense movie. There's nothing deep about it. It's not life changing to where you're gonna change your entire view of movies as we know it. It's a fun, action-packed comedy action movie. I don't know what they call a comedy action movie. Go check it out. Very cool. A lot of good gore, a lot of good action. That's what I like. When I like gore, I like it when it's completely unrealistic looking, like arms getting ripped off, tongues getting chewed out, like whatever it is. I like that stuff. It's blood everywhere. It's so gory that it has no effect on you, where you're just like, oh, this isn't real. We're not in like some movies where they keep it dark and they make it look so realistic. You're like, I'm going to throw up in here. This was so unrealistically gory, it made it fun almost. So there you have it. Now, we'll move on over to the Junction. We'll spin the logo up. Get into the good stuff now. We're talking about TV show mothers, TV show moms. Previous episode 155, we talked about TV show dads and people's favorite and why they liked them so much and yada, yada, yada. And it was a good time. Okay? And we got into thinking about more than just, the silliness of it all. And that's what we try to do here, teach some lessons and have some fun. Now we're getting into the TV show moms. I got a lot of feedback on these, a lot of good feedback, and we're going to get right into it here. So the first person, thank you for this feedback. They said Mama from Mama's House. And by the way, real quick, thank you guys for not only giving your favorite and who you thought the best TV show mother was, but also putting a little bit of information in why you felt that way, why you think that. And that helps a lot because now I could get into your mindset and maybe I'll see something and maybe you guys will see something that you didn't see otherwise with this TV show mom. So that's why I wanted you guys to provide the information why you like them so much, because what the reasons you like them could very well be different from the reasons I like them and somebody else liked them or whatever. And now we all learn and grow. And now we have a newfound appreciation for that TV show actor, mom or whatever. Or the opposite. Maybe you realize, oh, this person wasn't so great, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's why we do it. Okay. Information is power. Knowledge is power. That's why I asked for more information, for power. Okay. She says, Mama from Mama's House, because she liked that Mama was blunt and to the point and also funny. And thank you for this comment. This person, I know this person in real life. We were at war together, and she is very similar to what I imagine Mama was in Mama's House. She's blunt, she was to the point, but she was also funny, and no nonsense kind of gal. Awesome person to work with. And maybe she took after Mama on purpose. Maybe it was subconscious. Maybe just a coincidence. I don't know, but she does line up a little bit with that. The next person she said was tied for like her favorite with Mama was Lorelai Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. Lorelai Gilmore being a single mother. She was funny. She had a quick wit. I loved her wit. She was very relatable and blue collar to a lot of people, including myself, even though I'm not a single mother, but just blue collar, has to grind it out and figure out a way to get through life and be responsible for herself and others. And she found she was finding ways. And that was relatable to me. It's relatable to a lot of people. I loved her sarcasm and her quippy jokes and responses to people, especially when the other people in the show didn't get it. Like she would say something, and they would take it seriously, and you can see in her eyes, she's like, gotcha, with a little smile. I love Gilmore Girls. I don't care who knows it. And I think I've mentioned this several times before. Gilmore Girls is a top tier show for me. I rewatch it probably almost annually. I've rewatched it 3 times since the first time ever. I didn't watch it when it was out. I don't know when it even came out. Maybe I was in high school and it came out and I was busy studying, not getting women, hiding in my room, getting in trouble for spilling milk and stuff, and trying to get into the Air Force Academy and then getting rejected by the Air Force Academy. I didn't have time to go watch good TV shows. So I didn't watch it until later in life, and I loved it. So thank you for that. That brought back memories. I'll probably start rewatching it again. So there you go. Next person here put Mama Banks from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now, this is an interesting one to me because, well, she's a mom, and she had her day in the show. She definitely had her moments where she was doing good mom things and this and that. However, she was not a focal point in the show nearly as much as the kids were and Uncle Phil was. And B, the first person to play Mrs. Banks in Fresh Prince I had a real problem with Will Smith behind the scenes. So much so that they changed actors after 1 season or 2 seasons or however long the first one was in there. And I don't know if they made her a smaller character to kind of diffuse and deflect from that. I think really more deflect is the better word to use there. Deflect from the fact that they changed actors completely. But they did, and she also had a smaller role, so she was tougher. So it's very interesting that this person, this was their favorite TV show mom, maybe because that's their favorite TV show growing up as a kid, and that happened to be the mother on there. I don't exactly know. This is really the only person who did not provide feedback on why they like this person, so it'll remain a mystery to me. All right, this next person, thank you for the feedback, though. Thanks for the comment. This next person wrote, she liked Roseanne. OG Roseanne Barr on the Roseanne show back in the day, John Goodman, all those quirky kids in there, because of her rawness and the normalcy that the show, like that they brought, that family brought, and that what she brought to the show. If you ever watched original Roseanne, it was a good show. It was tough to understand as a kid, but it's definitely for a little bit more mature people. Funnier jokes that, when you grow up and get older and get a little slightly more intelligent, you start to pick up on the better jokes and the adult content behind it all. But it was a great show. It was a working class family trying to make it work. All these diverse things happening in each person, each kid's lives that the parents, that Roseanne and her husband had to go figure out and get through. It's funny to me that she went on an Ambien-induced Twitter tirade one time and essentially got canceled, and she left the new version of Roseanne, and they turned it to the Connors, and I think it's garbage. I haven't watched it. I didn't watch it when it was new anyway. But they canceled her for being, for saying intolerant things or mean things or whatever. But her show, which was created by her back in the day, was one of the most diverse, sort of tolerant, inclusive shows out there. All the issues and the things that kids were going through and were learning about and growing with were all these ahead of their time issues, not issues in the bad sense, but situations, ahead of their time situations that no other show was doing. Other shows were either whitewashed or like Fresh Prince or Family Matters. It was black or white, this or that. Whatever it was, gay or straight, one or the other, binary. That's what I'm trying to get at. Binary, ones or zeros. And Roseanne had everything all mixed in there and intertwined and included in there. And then she caught heat for whatever she said. I don't even remember. It's so unimportant. And I guess the meanness wore off. Nobody feels that she's mean anymore. They feel okay again. Anyway, thank you for the comment. Love the old school Roseanne. This next person here, I actually had to look this name up. Carla Tortelli. Because I forgot her name. Carla Tortelli is Danny DeVito's ex-wife. She was in Cheers. She was one of the bartenders in Cheers. Really like the table bartender in the show. This person wrote that she provided tough love to everybody in the bar. She probably had kids on her own that you never saw on the show, really. But she essentially mommed everybody in the bar. She took no crap. No one was gonna, talk her down or whatever, even though she was super tiny and feeble looking. She was a tough Boston waitress, tough Boston broad, who wasn't going to take shit from anybody, and she was going to take care of the people in her bar, whether it's with tough love or care and feeding. And this person, this is one of their favorite TV show moms because of that. She was not a mom in the traditional sense on TV shows where she's the mom of a family and you see their kids and the shows are wrapped around that family. She was the mom of the locals at Cheers in the bar, the unofficial mother. And that's a great creative way to look at it. So I appreciate that. I love Cheers. That's a great show, too. I think it's still on Netflix. Go check that one out. So thank you for that. The next one here is pretty popular. I think the second most popular submission we got, and that was Claire Dunphy from Modern Family. Now we got Phil Dunphy. The last time when we talked about TV show dads, Claire Dunphy's his wife. A lot of reasons for this one. she was trying to hold together and corral the cats of this wild family and keep it all together while she was a bit unhinged herself at times. She made a mistake. She said some crazy things. She really showed that, like, being a mom and a wife in the modern day with a crazy crazy dad, a gay brother, a mush of a husband, and wild teenage kids, how realistic it was to try to, the chaos that ensued when trying to hold that all together. And she did a good job doing it, and she was very funny, great in the show. She played Virginia Venet in Happy Gilmore, and that's why I'm in love with her. She took it over the top with Claire Dunphy, but Virginia Venet, wowzers. All right, thank you for that, those comments and those updates. The next person here, another character, I had to look up their name because I didn't know them as that name. Sophia Petrillo is the mother from the Golden Girls. I didn't remember her name in the show. I just remember they called her Ma. When the person put Sophia Petrillo, I was like, who the hell is that? And then it dawned on me, it's Ma from Golden Girls. Now, she's an all-time mom, okay? She's a billion years old. She has her 300-year-old daughters living. At least when I was a kid, they all looked 100 years old, even though they weren't. It was crazy to me, thinking back now, how they made them look older. But she had 3 single daughters, all out on the prowl, looking to do stuff, to get naughty, if you will. Even B. Arthur was slinging it back in the Golden Girls. And she didn't give a shit. She was angry. She was gruff. She was a little deeper in voice. And she was making it happen out there. She was like she was living in the villages in Florida. Just swinging and slinging. And that mom, Sophia Petrillo, had to hold that all together. And she was on her deathbed any given moment. Now, in reality, I believe the actress who played Sophia Petrillo was younger than some of the other Golden Girls. I don't quote me on that, but I have to go confirm that. I'm pretty sure that's the case, which makes it very funny and ironic. This happens sometimes a lot, though. You see father, son, or parent-child combinations in shows and movies where the age bracket or age difference is a matter of months, or it's reversed where the son or the child is older than the parent sometimes, just the way it happens. So thank you for that one there. What else we got here? This person wrote, obviously Moira Rose, and there's no other answer you can give me that I'm going to agree with. Moira Rose, great submission there. She's the mom in Schitt's Creek. Played by, funnily enough, the lady who played Kevin McAllister's mom in Home Alone, the Home Alone mom. So she's an all-time mom. Top-tier mom. And she did it in the movies, and now she's doing it in TV. Schitt's Creek is a really funny show. Eugene Levy, top-tier dad. TV show and movie dad. He's one we missed. We missed a lot of good TV show dads, by the way. So we might have to do a part 2 or an update to that soon enough. And we definitely missed a lot of the moms, too. As many as there are, there's a lot of good ones out there, and we missed some of them. So maybe we'll double down on these in a future episode, series, if you will. But Moira Rose plays a mom, pretentious, rich hoity-toity, has to live now down below her what her perceived station is throughout the show, and it's very funny, but she still tries to be a mom as best she can be for someone who only cares about lavish things, lavish living. So she's a great character in there. The next one here, Kitty Foreman from that 70s show. Rhett Foreman, the husband, was not mentioned, or maybe it was mentioned by somebody I forgot to input it in the TV show Dad's episode as their favorite. But Kitty Foreman, she was a nurse. she still also had to go do the standard 70s era mom, housewife stuff, making dinners and food for everyone, taking care of everyone, corralling everybody, while she still worked. She did the best she can taking care of her son, Eric, even though she kind of babied him and it became a little bit of a beta, as the Bone Crusher would say. But she was a great TV show mom. Had no idea that her kids' friends were all smoking pots down in the basement all the time, as the Bone Crusher reminded me too, because I didn't watch too much of that show back in the day. But it was funny to me that they were just burning it down there, and she seemed to have no idea. Maybe she did. Who knows? But great TV show mom. Thanks for that submission. The next one here is one of my favorites, and only got mentioned one time from somebody. Most submitted once, and that's Peg Bundy from Married with Children. Now, we talked about Al. Al might be my favorite TV show dad, one of them anyway. But Peg Bundy was a phenomenal TV show mom, especially back when the show was out there in the late 80s, early 90s. She was a great, funny TV show mom. No job. Housewife that didn't take care of the house. Barely took care of the kids. And the joke was she sat on the couch watching TV, eating bonbons all day. When you hear people joking about that now, it's usually from the older demographic, older millennials, baby boomer types, people my parents' age down to people my age, that bracket there. When you hear that, when you hear people joking about, oh yeah, she sat on the couch all day eating bonbons, it's Peg Bundy. That is the reference that's the joke that they're referring back to. It's Peg Bundy's, role. What the heck is her name? Carol something? I forgot her real name. Maybe it's not Carol. I don't know. She was also the mom in Sons of Anarchy, Jax Teller's mom. She's Peg Bundy. I don't even remember her real name. She's Peg Bundy. And that was her role. Just to beat, she came from trash. Her entire family, super white trash. I think her mom in the movie was like 1 billion pounds that you never really saw in the show, though. They just joked about her. At least Al did. And she was a succubus of Al's hard-earned female shoe store money. Great character. What a show. What a show. I think I mentioned before, but if you didn't listen to the TV show Dad's episode, I used to work night shift in the military, and I would come home, and at like 2 or 3 in the morning, TBS would be playing Married with Children, like mini marathon, 6, 7, 8 episodes in a row all morning until kids started waking up, and then they changed it back because it was not really a kid show like this one is. It's a family show. But I used to watch Married with Children all the time there. So thank you for that. Now, the number one submission, and which also might be my favorite, top 2 for sure, is Marie Barone from Everybody Loves Raymond. I got several people that submitted her name. She takes the cake for me, probably because of how relatable she is in real life to like an Italian-American family from the Northeast, New York, New Jersey. She had a favorite child. She never said it out loud, but you can tell in the show she had a favorite child. It was Raymond. She was loud and boisterous and had no problem saying what she felt to like strangers, but with her own family, she was notoriously passive-aggressive and biting with her speech and what she said to people. Like those little digs of passive-aggressive communication. She was the queen of that, the king, the best to ever do it. Especially when she was talking to Deborah, Raymond's wife, the best to ever do it. She reminded me of my grandmother, Big Margaret. Not so much the biting passive aggressiveness, but just the way she acted, and the interactions with Frank Barone in the show. That was my grandma and grandpa. That was Big Margaret and JPL2 in real life. That was they were they were Frank and Marie in real life. Now, luckily for them, they only had my dad, JPL3, so of course he was the favorite. He was Raymond. But that's what brings it home for me. She was a tremendous cook, the center, the focal point of every scene that she was in. She held court. Her character held court for the viewers watching. Every time you watch the show, if she was in the scene, you wanted to know what she was going to do or say. She was an animal. Absolute force to be reckoned with. And it brings back those memories. So that's why she's probably like my top 2, maybe my number 1 TV show mom. So, and I think that's it. Trying to go through my notes here. If I missed any, I apologize. If I missed submissions, I apologize. I scoured the social media universe, Facebook, the story updates, the comments, the DMs, whatever it was. So if I did miss one, I apologize, but I think I got them all. Put them in the YouTube comments if I missed one, or Facebook comments when I post the episode, and let me know if I missed one. We missed a bunch. So we'll redo these in the future to talk about additional ones, because this is a fun conversation topic, and it keeps things light, and it gives us that escape from the seriousness, the grave seriousness of Bud Light changing their cans. It gives us that escape. So that's all I got for that. Real quick business update. Actually, I'm not going to give an update. I'll wait till next week, the next episode, to give an update to let you guys know how things are going, because it's really not much. I don't want to bore you with stuff. We're moving forward. That's the update. Okay. Before we go, though, the big 3, for those of you who don't know or just tuning in, the big 3 are the 3 pillars of the LPDS to staying strong and being a better, happier, more positive human being, and spreading that goodness throughout to the world. Number 1, exercising every day. Whatever you got to do, go for a walk, get your steps in, jumping jacks. I've been doing these weird shuttle sprints in my yard. I have like a horseshoe-shaped yard that's fenced in, and I've been doing shuttle sprints around the horseshoe to burn some cows and get things done. Exercising every day in some way, shape, or form, moving the body, will absolutely get you healthier physically, mentally, emotionally. Okay? Number 2, the hardest one to do, also might be the simplest one, but it's the most difficult to actually do, is don't be a shitty person, be a good person. When the opportunity arises to be shitty to somebody, just don't do anything. Don't take the opportunity. Okay? It's as simple as just stopping in your tracks and not doing something, and you're going to be helping out yourself and others around you. But because you're so emotionally charged up and invested emotionally in your feelings, it's very difficult to actually do that. When somebody's saying something on the internet's here and they're being a dickhead, you want to bite back, you want to fire back. Or you see someone you don't like on there and you want to take a jab at them. Emotionally speaking, it's so easy to just do that. Fire it off, bang. It's on the computer. It's not even a big deal. It's just typed out on a caption of a photo, whatever. But it is a big deal because that person's going to read that, and you don't know what else is going on in their lives. You don't know what struggles and trials and tribulations they're dealing with. So you don't know how it's going to affect them. Okay? And it will affect them because they're a human being. Just like it affects you when someone shit talks you, even though they don't know anything about you. That's the first thing we all say. When a stranger trashes you online for whatever, and you're like, this guy has no idea anything I'm about, and they're trashing me. Yeah. It's the same thing when you do it. You have no idea what that person's about. You think you do, even for public officials and celebrities who are posting constantly out there, public, all the time. You think you know their lies, but they still have privacy. They still have private things going on in their private lives that you know nothing about. And it is a long shot, and you could think I'm being dramatic and over-exaggerating, but there's no chance that I want to be the person that fires off that shit talk on the internet that is the reason someone goes and does something bad to themselves or others. I don't want to be that final straw. So think about that before you go and be a shitty person, okay? But it's very difficult. I understand completely. I've struggled with it on a daily basis as well. All right. Number 3, the most important one, be genuinely thankful and grateful for all the good you have in your lives. And this is an action item here. Not just saying, yeah, I'm grateful, thank you. It's taking the time to think about at least one thing a day and actively think about just that, why it's good in your life, how you got it in there, and what your life would be like without it. And go through the second, third order effects of what your life would be like without that thing or that person or that experience or that lesson. And then you can increase it to 2, 3, 4, 5 things a day that you're thinking about and grateful for. And we're retraining your brains and our bodies to live in gratitude, think more positively, be less shitty to others, focus on ourselves and bettering ourselves and not the other distractions and the noise out there. And working on our health as well. That is all going to work together and couple together and do this with the hands like this in YouTube land. And you're going to be a better, happier, more positive human being. And you're going to spread that wellness and goodness onto others. It's this 3 pillars. That's it. The big 3. That's all I got, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Don't forget to hit the hotline, 202-670-1114. Call the hotline. Troll me. Tell me I'm a piece of shit. Ask me a stupid question. Ask me a good question. Ask me for advice on something. Ask me how I'm doing. Tell me how you're doing. Whatever it is, call the hotline, 202-670-1114. You know the number. You have a phone. It's 2023. Make it happen. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well and tell your friends and enemies so that we can all share in the wonderful world of the LPDS together, this wonderful universe. Thank you guys again. I love you all. Stay strong.